5-minute trap. Five-minute trap. Pandas, 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 pandas. Good morning, my pandas. Welcome to my channel. I'm Bye Money. And here we're trading live the emini. We just finished the pre-market show. Always have a great time there. If you guys are interested in watching my, seeing my, updates on my account balances and also off-stream trades. Yeah, I thought I ended a little too quick. Yeah. Off-stream trades. So, pre-market show, sorry about that. We are going to our pre-market analysis. If you guys are just joining, make sure you guys fill out that poll. Let me know what kind of day you think it's going to be. Good morning, guys. Good morning. Hope everyone is doing amazing here. As you guys are rolling in, we'll go ahead and do some pre-market analysis. Let me say good morning to a couple of you guys. Kid Poker, good morning. Day Trading Like a Predator, good morning. Angelo Olimpio, good morning. Richard Belmont from Colombia, good morning. Patrolin 500 says, good morning all. Blew my funded account last week, so back in eval. That's bad news. Sorry to hear that. But I will say, hey, at least it was someone else's money. And that's the beauty about Apex funded traders. If you do blow your account, you can just simply do the evaluation again and get new funded accounts. So even though it's bad news, it's not the worst news because you're blowing an account that's not your own capital. So it is unfortunate, and you're going to have to spend a little more time and just consider a small setback in terms of your trading goals. Richard Belmont says, do you think the market is going to fill the gap? The gap is right here, this red line. Do I think it's going to fill the gap? The ES typically fills gaps, especially on the ES. Are we going to fill today's gap? The fact that we're still about like maybe 30, 40 points away, we're at what? Yeah, about 40 points away. Feels like maybe we won't fill the gap. We're about the halfway point of this breakdown here about the gap, and it's hard to say. I mean, typically what happens is we do fill gaps. But the fact that we still haven't filled the gap in the overnight session and we're still kind of crawling our way back up there, it's just hard to tell. If I look at the daily chart, we see that we opened about 100 points below yesterday's or Friday's close, and we're kind of hitting the bottom of the trading range here. And so we're going to come back up. It could be expected to come back up to the top of the trading range, but in the daily chart, we do have a trading range being formed here on the trading range indicator, and that could give us the information we need. And man, boy oh boy, I'll just say Friday's price action was insane. We basically opened down here in the regular trading hours and just went straight up from there about 300 points, 200 to 300 points. And how many points is that? Let me just see. The market, wow, could truly do whatever it wants. That's 280 points pretty much, 279 point, like a quarter point, and that's insane in 2 days. That's really crazy. That range in 2 days is really crazy, especially how one directional, like unidirectional it was. It was just straight up. But with that being said, we're still underneath the 20 EMA. Right, and we're still in a downtrend, and so we have two big bull bars ending on their high, and typically what you expect is some follow through on that. But if you look to the left of the charts, we're still, in terms of their trend, we're still in a downtrend, making lower lows, And we're at a pivotal point. We were approaching the 20 EMA, and we missed it by about not even 10 points, and we reversed 100 points. Basically gap down on Sunday. When the markets open, they open on Sunday evening at 6 p.m. And so the price action that we see is a big move down. And when I opened my charts on Sunday evening, I was shocked. I was shocked because I opened the charts like this, and I was like, what's going on? Where's my, and I moved to the right a little bit, and I just saw this big blue line, or this blue line going straight down, and this is a 20 EMA, and so I was like, whoa, I thought my charts were messed up. And so I kept going to the right, and I was like, where are the candles? Like, something like, are the markets closed? Are they not opening today? And lo and behold, I finally saw like these candles here, and I was like, oh, wow. Huge move down. Basically a 100-point gap here. And so we're attempting to fill it. Are we going to fill it? It's just hard to say. I mean, most likely we do fill it, but the gap was so large, plus we're still not there. Makes me feel like we're still quite a ways from it. Makes me feel like there's a chance we might not close the gap. But that being said, honestly, at the end, I'm just confused. I'm confused. And Kid Poker asks, what percentage do you have to make to pass the evaluation? You basically just need to, there's like goals per evaluation, so it depends on which evaluation account you open. For instance, if you open the 150k account, the goal is $9,000, and so if you can make $9,000 before hitting your trailing threshold, then you get to be funded. Yeah, so everyone's mind right now, everyone's eyes are on this gap right here, basically from where we are to this close, this red line here. This pink line was yesterday's or Friday's close, and so if we touch this line, that gap would effectively be closed. So we'll see here. Hard to say. I mean, man, oh man. I mean, when you see a 100-point gap, you typically expect another push down. But, we got to read the price action for what it is. Right now, I see spike, channel. And this is on the 10,000 tick chart. This is the 10,000 tick chart. And so we have a spiking channel, and usually when the channel breaks like this, we try to attempt to test the top of the channel. Sometimes we will just break down and go straight to the bottom of the channel, but oftentimes we break the channel and retest the top of the channel. So that's what we might be attempting here, especially looking at the price action right now. When I see this, it looks like it wants to try to make a new high here, and so we shall see and wait around. Market's about to open in 3 minutes, so no big moves until then. Probably no trades until market opens. Hope you guys are doing amazing. Hope you guys had an amazing weekend. TGIM, thank God it's Monday. If you guys don't know, on this channel, we love Mondays here. And the weekends, we kind of get bummed out because that means more time away from the charts. And if you love trading, man, you actually look forward to Monday. So TGIM, guys, we're all here. We're gonna get our bamboo today. Hope everyone's doing amazing. Again, on your weekends, you gotta be able to do things to get your mind off trading. You gotta do things to reset your mental capital. Angel Olympio asks, what do you think of Lilu trading? I would say Apex is basically Lilu, but without all the annoying things that Lilu does. And so I like Apex better. I mean, I forget all the rules of Lilu, but I cross-referenced them, and I think Lilu's better. I believe the story behind Lilu is someone used Lilu and they basically didn't like what they did and basically created Apex because their experience with Lilu was so bad, and they were like, man, if they just did this would be so much better. And I believe that's where Apex was founded. I could be wrong. I haven't confirmed that story, but that's just something what I heard. So if Putin actually, I did hear about the nuclear threats or something. Man, if that happens, trust me, there will be no such thing as futures anymore. Who cares about futures? We will have no future if that happens. They say a World War IV will be fought with sticks and stones. Juan Key asks, does Apex pay you a commission if profitable? Yes, you keep $10,000 of the first 100% of the first 10,000 you make, and after that 90% of the money you make. So they take a 10% cut off. All right, Pandas, let's focus here. No matter what the news is, it does not matter. When it comes to trading, price action is king. And so, we can have a nuclear launch and the market could go volatile, but at the end, even though you have bad news, you'll see the market just skyrocket, just keep going upwards. But, it is what it is. Price action will tell us everything we need to know about what we're trying to do here. So I do see on the bigger kind of time frame, right? This channel here is a channel on the 10K chart, right? The spiking channel here. And so we're gonna try to trade these smaller trends within this bigger pattern here. So what do we got here now? What do we have here now? Ride or die. All right, so we got this uptrend. We actually had a nice little two-leggy here. It was right before market open, so I was not really looking for a trade, but we do have a two-leggy here off of the 20 EMA and also off of our trend line here. Sitting on my pause, I need a little more price action. Tell me what's going on. No entries for me so far. Most of you guys think it'd be a bull trend day today. Very interesting. Maybe because you guys think it's going to fill the gap. Sweet Roll comes in with the troll saying, why you stick with your stupid nonsense strategy? You're not even profitable. What funny here are you using price action on 1 minute which not work? LOL. This is some words of wisdom by Sweet Rolled. I mean, how can you really, refute this guy? This guy's a genius. All right, so we are in this uptrend here. This is a little too much noise here. Hard to see here. We are in this uptrend. Balancing off the 20 MA once again here. I'm gonna have to skip this trade, even though I like the direction of the 20 MA, it's just pointing upwards. But to me right now, this right here is this little poke under the trend line It makes me feel like essentially a break of trend to new high. And so what we look for here now is a trap trade. It's an outside bar reversal, so I'm not risk is large, but micro double bottom. I don't like how it's like right on the 20 EMA. It does trigger that trap. I don't like how the 20 EMA, it's just not, I would like a gap, kind of a gap, and it does scalp you out though. So if you're scalping there, you just got scalped out. Comes back up, fills you, or stops your runner out. But yeah, just a little risky for me right here, just because of 20 EMA. It seemed a little strong. Pushes up once again here. We might get an H4 set up here. We got another John Cena. Let's see how strong this guy is. He doesn't look as strong and committed as John Cena, but let's see how well he trolls. You know, he's kind of weak right now, but you can do better than that, Sweet World. You can do better. So you just scalp out right there, and wow, you just barely scalp out. Pushes up, and you'll be stopped out right now. But you do scalp out with an absolute scalp, so I mean, technically you got scalped out. It is what it is. Say good morning to a couple of my guys here. You're resigning negatives. What platform are they? What platform they operate? I think they probably. Oh, for Apex, you can almost use any platform for Apex. I just use NinjaTrader. I think that's the preferred. But the nice thing about it is that you get a free, well, not free, but it's included. You get to get licensed with NinjaTrader, so that's a nice benefit of having using Apex. Good morning, guys. Richard Harris, good morning. John Fan Hassan as ES or micro. ES right there. This is ES. Pushing up now. We do see on the 10,000 tick chart, we have a 3 here, right? This is a failed second entry short, and it pushes higher. So this trap could, right? This is a failed second entry short, and it could potentially, I mean, it made us our new high. So that's the pattern we were looking for. We have this break of trend, right, to new high, right? Retesting the top of this spike in channel. But with this 3 here, this could be a strong push up, and we may try to fill this gap here. But again, for me, it's so hard to say. Most likely, it seems like we're trying to fill that gap. But also in this area, it's not a place where I'll look for a long trade. You know, with the price action, I actually will look for a short trade here at this time. Especially we have this, right, break of trend to new high right here with a 2-leggy. This break of trend to new high is a 2-leggy here. First pullback, first entry, second pullback. And typically now what I'll look for is a trap trade, something along these lines if we were to get a reversal here. But it looks like we're moving strongly upwards, and so, well, with this failed breakout, I don't know. A little hard to say. We're clearly above the 20 EMA, so it's hard to take a short trade anywhere here. I would need the trap to trigger underneath the 20 MA. If I'm feeling really aggressive, I can take it above to get a big reversal. And I'm like fully expecting, like 60% sure gonna like fail that, but like a 70% chance you're gonna fail that trade. But you have like the ability, you might have the potential of a really big swing trade. But here we're actually at a spot where we might trigger underneath the 20 MA, the trap. Out in this spot, actually will take an outside bar reversal in this spot here if we're to get it for a trap trade. Creating a nice signal bar for a second entry long. I may want to go long here. This entry, no, this bar is too big now, and it's just too large. This is the area where we typically look for a short trade, and if I were to go short here, I would be fully expecting to lose, but potentially have a big reversal here. But it looks like it wants to go up higher. I mean, strong signal bar above the 20 MA. Trap's about to trigger here. It's above the 20 MA. It's a little confusing. I'm getting mixed signals here. We're above the 20 MA, yet we may have a trap triggering here. So that is a little tricky for me. You can risk it here and expect a big, you have to have a correct risk reward, but that's a low probability event because we're above the 20 MA. So we have a higher low setup here, potentially. That does scalp you out. Ooh, you fail breakdowns here. Higher low, second entry long on the uptrend. Still not looking for a long trade at this point. Big push down. So we're above the 20 MA. That's the reason why I didn't take this trade, but this is one of those trades that you can hope for a swing trade here. But it's above that 20 MA. It just did not like, I didn't like where that triggered. And I got to stick to my rules. And it's working this time, but if I were to enter that trade, I would like really fully expect me to lose that trade, but potentially 2 times risk reward here, which is what we maybe get. We got the 2 times risk reward and we're bouncing off of it. Right? People took their profits right at the 2 times risk reward. Now we're breaking beneath the 2 times risk reward. So that trap trade, I liked the context. Like I like the fact that, we made that breaker trend to new high and we look for that trap trade. And like I mentioned, if you're gonna take this trade, you gotta, in my opinion, you have to try to get a nice swing trade off this. And willing to risk 1, 2, 3 points. We're above the 20 MA, which is the main reason why I didn't enter that trade. But that is a reversal trade right there. You can see that we made 2 times risk reward. Unfortunately, it happened above the 20 MA like this, and I just did not feel comfortable taking it. Sticking to my rules here. But that is, what we're, that's exactly, all the things I've been saying is it's the price action that we're seeing here is that we wanted that reversal trade. This is a major trend reversal setup. It just happens to be above the 20 MA, which I didn't like, decreasing the chances of it working. But as you can see, hindsight bias, it works out. But during the time it happened, you're above the 20 MA like this, not really super excited to go short right there. And, ends up working, but, I'm fine missing that trade because I don't think it was necessarily the best setup. I don't mind missing bad setups. Let's just say that. Even if the bad setups work, I'd rather not enter bad setups that work. I say this often, but I'd rather lose a good setup than win a bad setup. Because bad setups end up giving you bad habits. Just watching here, a little bit confusing, going in and out of the 20 MA now, right? Going below the 20 MA, above the 20 MA, coming back down 20 MA. Right, 20 MA is happening to go through the middle of the candles, so we're experiencing a little chop here right now. Pandas, if you guys are just joining, make sure you drop a GM in the chat in a location. Let me know where you guys are from. I love to know the audience here. And I always like to get new ideas of where to travel to. Mrs. Panda and I, we love traveling, and so always open to new ideas of where to travel. We may get a new low here, right? Break a trend. We may look for that new low here. But the thing is, if this low triggers, if this second entry short triggers, it's pretty much the bottom of this pivot that could act as a support. Now we're breaking up higher. This could be the test of that low, which wouldn't surprise me, but a little difficult to go short here in my opinion. Right, you have a double bottom essentially forming here, and I'll probably be more enticed to take the trap trade to the long side. But right now, as I mentioned, right, like we broke below, broke above, and broke below, and now we're finding ourselves back above. And so we're getting some idea of choppiness here right now. It's a little difficult for me to trade and difficult for me to pick a direction at this point. I don't know what the market's trying to do right now. I don't know if it wants to break down lower or if it wants to reverse here. I personally would feel more comfortable if taking the trap trade to the long side here. That would probably be my setup that I would take. I would not take the short. I actually would take the trap trade of this short here to go long. So we do trigger this short here, and we may get a new low here. We do get a nice scalp off of that, but in my opinion, it's just a little uncertain what's going to happen there. We do get an absolute scalp, but it doesn't go very far. I feel more comfortable going long here if I were to take a trade, but now with this big wick here, I'm not interested in going long into this wick top of this, right? Disconnect as resistance, disconnect as support. And so hard for me to go short here, hard for me to go long here now. All right, this is the signal bar you're going to try to go into on the second entry long. This is actually a second entry long, which is kind of funny, but A, B, C. Second entry long does give you a nice little scalp here, a couple trades or a couple points here. But again, if you're going to take that, that's a terrible signal bar to take. So I'm not taking this signal bar. You could have traded this as a failed second entry short, right? A, B, C, right? And this fails to continue the original trend, instead reverses, and that could be the reason why you want to enter that trade even with a bad signal bar. But you know, I'm fine sitting on my pause here. It's a very, in my opinion, just not a trade that I like to take. I don't like to go long. I don't like to trade signal bars that look like this. Sitting on my pause, and I do feel like we're just getting choppy right now. Craig Casey's Little Elm, Texas. North Dallas next to Frisco. Freakonomics just did a radio show in my area. Nice. You know what? I've been to so many places, but I have yet to go to Texas. And the thing about Texas is that Frank Angelo, good morning from New Jersey, America's armpit. I've been to New Jersey many times. But honestly, mostly just to go to New York. And I do stop by New Jersey. There's a little spot called Mitsuwa, and Mrs. Pan and I, we go there often, especially when we go to New York. We usually stop by Mitsuwa, and you know, it's like a little Tokyo in New Jersey, and get some food and end up going to New York from there. Never been to Malaysia. I have been to Singapore, and I have been to Indonesia. I've never been to Malaysia though. Ducks on the Pond says New Jersey is beautiful. I don't know about that one. Is New Jersey beautiful? I'm sure, you know, there's like one or two places that might be nice in New Jersey. But I do want to go to Texas sometime. This is confusing, right? We have two leggy here, pushes down, and kind of forming this trading range, right, where the 20 EMA is going in and out of the candles here. So sitting on my pause, and yeah, I mean, you have to feel pretty confident to go into this trading range. We're gonna take it, but I'm just sitting on my pause here. You know what? It might be because I'm sticking to the east side of New Jersey. Never really go to the west side. I've been to Peter Cho says Cambodia is super nice, really awesome temples to see there. I think before going to Cambodia or even Malaysia, I probably would go to Thailand. Oh, okay, all right. Blue Ridge Mountains. All right. I got a lot of people from New Jersey just standing up for their state. All right, okay. New Jersey's beautiful. Yeah, I haven't seen it with my own eyes, but I'll trust you guys. Jack Beyond says, made 11.5 points with 25 contracts. Good day. The thing about Jack Beyond, he comes in, flexes real hard. I wish Jack Beyond would come in and tell us the trade that he takes before he flexes on his position. And nothing wrong with flexing. You know, go ahead. I'm happy you make money. But to benefit the community, I think it would be best if you're like, okay, I want to enter this trade. This is the reasons why. And here I'm going to enter in, you know, with this signal bar, right, one tick above. If you can explain your trade completely, that's the most beneficial thing you can do in the chat, in my opinion. Now, if you just want a place where you want to have a community, you know, flex your profits, then be my guest. You know, I'm happy if anyone makes money. You know, so congrats, Jack Beyond. You know, I'm happy everyone makes bamboo. I'm never sad if anyone makes bamboo. But just for basically your information, if you want to benefit, the best way to benefit is to tell people your setup, why you're taking it, what you're thinking, and giving your entry and even your exit if you were to give it. I want to trade this trading range here, and I'm going to trade with 2 contracts. I want to get a piece of this trading range if we can get it. Just 2 contracts here, and I want to get in thinking that we're in a trading range. Hopefully we can test the bottom of the trading range, getting choppy here. See if we can get a piece of it, a decent signal bar, and I might get burned here, but you know, it's only 2 contracts, and I'll take it. I'll take this trade. Take this risk here. I'm just seeing this choppiness, and you know, thinking the choppiness will continue. And I'm gonna just take a little piece of it if I can. See if we can get 1 contract here, or 2 contracts. Let's go, baby. Easy peasy, easy money. Trying to just scalp this trading range. Let's go, baby. Just a quick scalp here. 2 contracts. Seeing that we're choppy here, not thinking we're really gonna go that far out of this trading range. We're at the upper third of the trading range. Decent signal bar, 2 leggy here. A, B, C. Just scalp. And you know, trust the trading range indicator here, also telling us we're at the top of the trading range. So you know, double, you know, 3 attempts up here. Let's get a quick scalp. I will say though, on the higher time frames, we look like we are looking bullish because we're above the 20 MA. Now, even though we're above the 20 MA, the angle we are at right now on the 20 MA doesn't look very bullish. You know, we're not at we're almost looks like a wedge, almost looks like an ascending type of wedge. So it looks like it wants to break down here, right? This is not necessarily showing us incredible strength, but we are above the 20 MA, so you got to give it that. Also on the 5 minute, let's see what we have on the 5 minute. 5 minute, we have a trading range, top of the trading range now on the 5 minute. We are making new highs here. And so now we got strong bull bar ending on its high, breaking above, right, this wedge here. So we may get a breakout of the wedge, right, the ascending wedge to the upside, but we'll see here. Strong bull bar ending on its high. See if we get some follow through. We make another new high here. You know, we keep making new highs, and it makes me think we're in an uptrend. And so, yeah, I mean, it looks like it's grinding to try to fill that gap, but in my opinion, it's just difficult to say what's going to happen here. We are breaking out of this trading range. We're strong, 2 strong bull bars in a row. It's We can consider us still in an uptrend. We may look for a long trade somewhere here. I'm trying to find my channel, pandas. I'm trying to find our channel here. I'm trying to find out what market cycle we're in right now. With this chop here, it's a little difficult to say, but it's just hard to say. But we do keep making new highs. You know, break a trend, new high here. Break a trend, new high here. Right, we can consider something like this. Right, break a trend to new high. Now we can maybe say this uptrend is over. Like, we just keep making these uptrends. But this reversal, yeah, I mean, at least it got you a swing trade, but it doesn't go much further than that. And I'll say right now, pandas, right? The difference between this reversal and this reversal is that this reversal, right, doesn't have that new high yet. When we made that new high, then we have the reversal. We see we got a stronger push down. And so that's the difference between this trap and this trap. Even though there's two traps, this one ends up being above the 20 MA, so I didn't like it, but the context was better here because we ended up making that new high, essentially creating a double top, a higher high double top, and then we had a reversal. So traders and institutions will feel way more comfortable entering short after we make some sort of test of this high, either be a higher high double top, an equal double top, or a lower high double top. Whatever it is, institutions feel way more comfortable entering on a reversal after this top has been tested. It wants to see basically what happens when it gets near this pivot high. So the trading range expands here. I'm not sure if it's reliable though, because we're clearly above the 20 MA. If it's reliable, I will attempt to go short here and see if we come back to the bottom of the trading range. Right, basically fail breakout, lower high, second entry, short here. We'll take an attempt here, see what happens. All right, could not enter that trade. Let's see. Oh wow, do I want to enter this trade still? Little disappointing. Let's see here. I'll wait for the trap trade. I'll wait for a trap trade. It's currently a lower high setup, which could work out. But I mean, the good signal bar as well. But with this kind of like reaction, I'm not feeling too confident about that. A little disappointed with this follow through. So I'm going to take a trap trade. If we get trap trade, I'll go short. That means I need a second entry long to trigger, which may trigger here. Fails to trigger. There it goes. Looking for some sort of reversal here. It makes a point here. I think I'll still be interested in the short trade though. I think I'm still interested in the short trade. Let's see if I can get a decent signal bar, right? Basically 1, 2, 3 failed attempts to break out of this trading range. We're gonna see maybe swing it a little bit here if we can. If it's a strong bull bar, I'm skipping it, just passing it. Strong bull bar ending on its high, no longer interested on that reversal back to the bottom of this trading range. In fact, may be interested in going long now, right? Especially because there's a trap trade on the 10,000 tick chart. Potential trap trade here. Comes back to the bottom. Let's see here. Potential trap trade on 10,000 tick chart. Just confusing. Absolutely confusing, pandas. I'm just sitting on my paws. Michael B says, looking for one more. Peter Cho says, famous last words. I think we've all been there. Trap about to trigger on the 10,000 tick chart if we break above that pivot. Trap just triggered on the 10,000 tick. strong push up now. Right, that trap on the 10,000 tick chart does trigger. Gives us a nice 3 points right now, 4 points. Maybe make a new high here. This is tricky. I mean, this is definitely going up. It's just happening in such a way where it's just, man, it's just grinding. I've seen days like this before though, and honestly, these days can grind forever. We failed to make a new high though, which is very curious, very interesting. Failed to make a new high. That's very interesting. This should make a new high here. Getting a higher high setup or higher low setup here. Looking for that new high created. It's absolutely amazing, but so choppy, and it's not the price action I like. I don't like entering in choppiness, even though it's going upwards. It's just very choppy. But I'm tempted to go long, pandas. What can I say? I am still tempted to go long here. I mean, we're getting these beautiful signal bars to go short. But what can I say? I'm tempted to go long here. Very tempted to go long. We keep getting pushes up, but man, we're just so choppy. I'll probably have to go long off some sort of test of this line here. I see some of you guys are getting your bamboo. By the way, if you guys are just joining, I'm Buy Money. Welcome to my channel. Glad that you guys are here. And on this channel, we trade absolutely risk-free using Apex funded traders. I'm currently trading $300,000 accounts. And if you are interested, and you might be asking, how's that possible? Well, because you get to trade someone else's money. You get to trade Apex's money, and they allow you to trade their capital if you can pass their evaluation. So to pass their evaluation, you simply go to their website, sign up, and if you can reach the target goal, right, reach the target goal in the rules that they have set, minimum 10 trading days, then, and that's a minimum 10 trading days, so they're not trying to rush you to get to your goal, right? They want you to get to your goal in a way that you feel comfortable, but at least 10 trading days, so they can, you can prove to them you're a profitable trader. And then once you pass that goal and get, then you can get funded. And so right now, there is a 50% off code on those evaluations. Look in the bottom of your screen, and that is an amazing deal. I mean, we're talking about, I could tell you all the reasons why Apex can actually, if you can trade profitable, how Apex can really change your game, can really change your trading game, and potentially your life, financially at least, Money, really at the end can't save anyone, can't do anything, but it's nice to have if you can get it. But of course, the love of money, the root of all evil is the love of money. And so, at the end, money is not going to save you, but it doesn't mean that we can't try, right, to make some money. And so, with Apex, you can actually, I can go into my spiel a little bit later, but just know there's a 50% off code. And so for something like $150,000 account, you can get $150K funded by passing evaluation that costs only about $150, which is an absolute insane deal in my opinion. So if you're interested, please use that code for your benefit. Also, if you guys are wondering what I'm trading here, I'm trading the emini, the S&P futures, the ES, whatever you want to call it. Right now, we're trading the futures market, and we trade it here every single day, live for you guys. And we trade we trade a two-legged pullback. We trade only one single setup, a two-legged pullback. If you want more information about the details of the setup that we trade, right? It's just two legs down or two legs up, and we try to find these in key areas. You can look at the playlist in the description below. It goes over the details of the setup. Also on screen, you can see the trading range indicator giving us a trading range here, and also the two-legged pullback indicator that you see on screen. All these numbers here identifies every single second entry, counts every leg for us, gives us traps, right? Tells us when they're traps, gives all the information we need in terms of price action. So if you're interested about those indicators, you can go to the official website at www.twoleggedpullback.com. We trade only pure price action here, so you're not going to see any other indicators. You're not going to see RSIs, you're not going to see momentum indicators. We believe that everything you need to know about the charts is given to us in each bar. And so we trade and read the price action here, and we like to trade the two-legged pullback as our setup. But counting legs is very beneficial, not just finding two-legged pullbacks, but finding a bunch of other setups, also finding when trends may be exhausted, good for finding reversals. I would have loved the trap trade here. I would have taken that trap trade if we actually had, this is a little wonky, but this, what's ended up happening? It looks like this. Something like that. I'm looking to go back to the bottom of trading range here. What can I say? Trading range indicator marked this trading range here for us, and we thought we might just be going up forever, but trading range indicator says otherwise. We might come back to the bottom of the trading range. I'll look for a trap trade here. Now that we have broken this trend line, I'm looking for a trap trade. We've broken the trend line and we're in the trading range, so I'm looking to go short back to the bottom of the trading range, but I need a setup here. I need a trap trade of some sort. That'd be very nice if we can get it. Sai G says, what's the coupon? Look at the bottom of your screen. Also, the pinned message tells you the coupon. Are they reliable with payouts? Yes, they are. 100%. Hunfan Hassan or Junfan Hassan asks, my candles are not like yours. Why? Could be many reasons. I did reload my historical, so you might want to reload your historical chart. If you right click and type and click on reload all historical data, and that's you right click anywhere on the chart, and you should get that option. I recommend you doing so. Also, it could be because I'm trading tick charts, and so depending on what time server you're using, it could grab your tick charts. It can, depending on when it grabs the very first tick of the day for you, it could be different because it can offset. Even one tick could make a difference. I'm actually looking for a trap trade to the downside here, pandas. So if we get a trap trade, I'm actually looking to go short if we can get it, but it is getting a little choppy here, right? We're getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 overlapping bars, a little choppy here. So trap could fail, but I would love a trap off my trend line here if we can get it. Off the 20 MA, trap off the 20 MA or off the trend line here. I'll be interested in going short here. Because we have trading range price action, I'm thinking we may come back to the bottom of this trading range. Let's just see what the market gives us, right? You can only take what the market gives you. So if the market doesn't give me my trap trade, I'm just gonna have to watch this go without me. And we are not, the market is just so choppy right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 overlapping bars in a row. I just need a little tick. I need one tick above a previous candle's high to get me that trap trade, but looks like it might go on without us. But I'm waiting for my setup, pandas. I want the trade to come to me. I'm not chasing any trades here. And if we miss it, we miss it, and that is what it is. And I just move on to the next trade and just say, well, there was nothing for me to miss because there was nothing there in the first place. And so no setups. We're coming back to the bottom of the trading range. Right, how long was this trading range here on the trading range indicator, giving us the trading range, letting us know that we start to get choppy here. So the trading range indicator started to say, hey, we're getting choppy. This may be a potential trading range, and now it gave us the range perfectly. Starting from over here, you can see where the trading range indicator starts. And the unique thing about this trading range indicator is that it uses pure price action. It literally uses a price action on your charts to identify these trading ranges. I don't know any other indicator that does that automatically for you, right? Like it found the top of the trading range, now back going to the bottom of the trading range. We missed it by 2 ticks so far though. And you know, the thing is, I talk about the trading range indicator not necessarily just to, you know, sell it, but I'm showing it to you guys. I mean, I'm showing it to you live. You know, if I'm just simply here to just sell you the indicator, I think it'd be very silly for me to do it live, because you'll see in all the times where it messes up. But you know, I take that risk because I believe that the indicator works well. It's accurate in my opinion. And you have another trading range indicator, or you have another indicator or another trading range here by the indicator giving us a trading range, right? Trading range here as well, right? It just marks the trading range for us, the top to the bottom, failed breakdown, failed breakout, back to the bottom, right? Now it comes back, tests the top, right? Bounces off the top of the trading range, uses that support, bounces off of it here as well. So hopefully you guys can just see with your own eyes the trading range indicator, just how it works live. As far as I know, it's the only trading range indicator that I know that uses pure price action to find the trading range. And so you might be asking, why don't I just trade, you know, go short on the top and go long on the bottom? I would if I were using a different strategy, but the strategy I'm using specifically is two-legged pullbacks, right? Traps, right? I'm reading price action here. And so I would enter short here. Like I've been saying, I've wanted to go short here for a long time, but I didn't get my setup that I wanted. So I'm trying to combine, right, not only, right, the fact that we have a trading range here, but I want to combine that with a setup. Right, we end up coming back to the bottom of the trading range with finally a trap trade, but too close to the bottom here, right? With a strong bull bar like this, you're thinking maybe it missed the bottom trade range and may come back to the top. And so I want to combine both the setup and the fact that we have a trading range. I want to find both. I want to increase my chances. I want to enter in the best setups possible. And so this is why I didn't enter any trades yet right here. I simply did not get the setup that I wanted, right? And because of that, right, I don't go into trades, right? I wanted to trap trade somewhere around here, try to get to the bottom trading range, but we end up just getting, right, these little micro tops here, and never able to break above a previous candle's high in order to trigger the trap trade to the downside. We end up getting a 3 here, which is a failed second entry long, and ends up giving us a nice little scalp, but at the end, a little too close, right? It's already basically bouncing off the bottom here. I missed it by 2 ticks, but it's just hard to say. I usually don't like to go short on the bottom of a trading range. And you might be saying I'm missing a lot of trades here, but trust me, pandas, there are many times where that will bite you in the butt. This will bite you in the butt. It works often enough where you're like, man, I'm gonna do it next time, and then it's gonna bite you. So you need to take the setups as, you know, you can't have any hindsight bias. You gotta just take the setup like this, like where you have to be willing to go short, like, you know, like right now on this kind of candle. You can't have hindsight bias. You gotta take the setup for what it is before before the results come. And for me, that was it. I'm interested in a higher low type entry here. If we get a higher low entry off the bottom of this trading range, thinking this is a failed breakdown, break a trend to new low, I'm looking for a higher low, right, second entry here if we can get it. So what we're looking for now is a new, maybe new low, but I want a higher low to enter in this trade to come back into my trading range. and see if we can get it. But the fact that this this trap trade ends up working out makes me a little hesitant. Like I'm not gonna go long on this bad signal bar. But I'm looking for a higher low, some sort of evidence, right, that we are reversing here, and just entering, you know, long, you know, right now while it's on a downtrend is very risky. So typically in trading ranges, we like to enter in higher low setups, or even better, a trap trade, right? Fails like entry short. So here we can look for the higher low setup. A, B, C. Sorry, we'll have to have it here. A, B, C, something like this with a higher low setup, or failed breakdown of this trading range. Or even better yet, we have something like this along these lines. A, B, C, fails like entry short, and coming back to the top of the trading range. Something similar to what I was waiting for here, but happening on the other side to come back to the top of the trading range. That is the best setup. So that would be the best setup if you can get it. But if you're more aggressive, you can go on a higher low setup here. Pandas, make sure you guys scalp that like button. If you look in the higher time frames, we have a larger trading range on the 10K chart. Coming back to the bottom here, potentially. The 5-minute as well. We had just been in a big trading range on the 5-minute, and we may come back to the bottom of this trading range on the 5-minute. Makes me hesitant to go long now on the 2000 tick chart. Seeing those higher time frames, seeing that we have more room to the bottom here. So maybe a little difficult just to go long. Especially if we keep making new lows, right? Lower lows, lower highs, higher time frames. Need to come back potentially to the bottom of this trading range. Very high chance we come back to the bottom here on the 5-minute. Very, you know, there's actually a high chance to come to the bottom of the 10,000 tick chart as well. So right now, this just looks like a downtrend to me. Right, 4 pushes down. We got an H4 setup that ends up failing, right? Reverses. Just watching here now. I won't take a higher low setup here, I don't think. I'd be a little too scared. The only setup I would really take long, fail trap to the downside, perhaps. This ends up scalping. Good push up here. No follow through. Garish not aware says liked it, bro. Congrats. Thanks, man. Yeah, make sure you scalp that like button, pandas. But simply, no setups that I liked here, and that's the beauty. That's the one thing. The beauty about training only one single setup is that it's simple, right? You know what you're looking for. You look for the context. If the context is good, you take your setup. The bad thing is that if it's only one setup that you take, it may be a long time till you get your setup. You gotta be very patient. So this is the patience. This is where the patience comes in. Waiting for the setup here. Just watching. So no setups that I like right now. This is all first entries, all on this way down, right? First entry, first entry, first entry. You can tell easily because of the pink numbers. If these are dark red numbers, then we will know they were two-legged pullbacks. But none of these are two-legged pullbacks. These are all one-legged pullbacks. Pandas. Hey, let's get a vibe check. Let's get a 1 in the chat if you're green today. Give me a 2 in the chat if you're red. Give me a 3 if you're flat right now. 1 green, 2 red. Lisanawi with the super chat. You are amazing. Thank you for the $20 dono. Amazing. Thank you so much for that. Do appreciate it so much, Tsunami. Tsunami with the super chat. Absolutely incredible. Thank you so much. Everyone is green. Wow, 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 wow. A lot of you guys are green. It's amazing. It's amazing. Kelly Ann with the 5-1s. I'm guessing she's super green. Let's go, baby. And guys, if you guys are 2s, don't worry. I'm not too far. I've only made 1 trade so far, and I just didn't like any setups we have so far. So it is what it is. But if you guys are 2s, don't worry. You are probably in good company still. I need more people like Lace Sanawi. Dropping those super chat donos makes my day. Do appreciate it so much. Sitting on my paws, no setups. And it's just one of those days. I mean, if you just don't get set up, you don't get set up. It's just how it is. I could consider this like a spiking channel, but I don't know. We are getting a lot of hits on the bottom of the spiking channel, but not many hits on the top. Only 2 hits so far on the top of this spiking channel. Okay, we get another hit. We're coming back up. We may break above the channel on the spiking channel here. Would I be interested in a long trade here? On a trap trade, yes. If we get a trap trade anywhere near the bottom of a trading range, right, a failed second entry short, I will probably be tempted every single time. You know, because you're just in the bottom of the trading range, you're just thinking, okay, I want to go long. I just need to find a good entry, and especially if you've been waiting this long, you're thinking any trap trade to the long side. That's what I'm interested in. Pircho asked a good question. A downtrend with all one-legged pullbacks, is it a weak downtrend? I would say it depends on the market cycle. Also depends on within the legs what's happening here. And so typically what you do have with strong downtrends is that you have gaps. We do have one gap here. It just got filled though. We do have one gap here, and you can consider, I pretty much consider this the gap here, and it just got filled right now. But if you have a strong downtrend, you would have more gaps. You would have potentially, right, there's no gap here, right, it gets filled, so no gap there, right, and there's no gap here, obviously, because, you know, all these pivots are breaking above and basically covering these gaps here. And so gaps are a good strength of sign, or a good sign of strength here, good strength of sign, can't speak, but for instance, you have a gap here showing us potential strong move down here, and we have a gap right from this close right to the pivot high, but there's also this close to this pivot high. So I would say it's not just the fact that it's just, I think the first entry downtrends is somewhat of a sign of strength, but you need to have more price action than just simply that. You need kind of have let's say more comprehensive, more signs than just that. You can't just use that one thing to say, okay, this is a strong downtrend. I think that would be a little too easy. But also you have to understand the market cycle we're in. You know, we can have a lot of we can have a lot of first entry shorts, but if we're in a trading range market cycle, especially when it looks this choppy or overlapping bars like this on its way down, right, instead of having big gaps like here, right, and the small gap here, it's just a little more difficult to say if it's a strong downtrend. Now, this could have turned into a very strong downtrend, but it was just hard to say. But it's a good question. Very good question, in my opinion. Those are the questions you got to ask. You have to ask. You have to be asking those questions, right? You have to be asking those questions, those $1 million questions, and try to find your best way to answer them. Such as, right? There's a couple $1 million questions you got to ask, right? For instance, how do I know a trend is strong? Or how do I know a trend will continue and be like a forever trend? Right? Are there signs within there that tell me, right, if that trend's gonna be strong? That's a $1 million question. Because if you can answer that question, then you can enter trends even if you're late in trend. Another $1 million question is, right, when do breakouts succeed, right? If we knew when breakouts would succeed, right, going up out of trading range or breaking below trading range, if we knew, if we had signs of if a breakout would be successful or not, then that is also a $1 million question, right? What constitutes a breakout and make it chances to breakout to work out more instead of doing a failed breakout and reversing back into the trading range? That's another $1 million question. And there's a couple $1 million questions you need to find the best answer to your ability, in my opinion, in order. I think it would enhance your trading by a lot. If you can ask good questions, right? Ask those good questions, and then find the best way to answer them and incorporate that in your trading. So we do have first break of trend, and typically we wait for is a new low. But because we're in a trading range, I'm kind of eager to go long here. And let's see, we've got multiple breakouts here. We're above the 20 MA, so I'm not looking to go short there, but maybe looking for that new low now. I'm kind of glad that the signal bar looks like this because I'm not tempted to go long. But we are on the bottom of the trading range and we have a break of trend, so I'm thinking we might test the top of the trading range. But with this big candle, right, it makes me feel like we may get another test down. And so that's kind of common sense, just big bear bar, probably follow through. Probably means we're going to go down more. Even though in this area I like to go long because we're basically in the bottom of a trading range. We've had a break of trend and we may test and might come back up here. So if we get a good signal bar anywhere here, it'll be one of those trades that I would go long and then reverse my trade to go short, I think. I do like the fact that we're in the bottom of this trading range, and I'm very tempted to go long now. But yeah, it's one of those $1 million questions again. It's like, should we wait for break of trend to new low, or should we just take the reversal here? The good signal bar, I'll be going long here. Can't let this trigger before, because that means this is the signal bar. Alright, that's good enough for me. I think that's a decent signal bar to go long here. Let's see if we can get a nice push up. Okay, scalped out immediately. Let's go, baby. Easy peasy, easy money. It's just $200, but, and I guess I'll do my spiel now. Even though it's just $200 and I just made 2 scalps so far, if you have, let's just say, I like to use 4 accounts because that's the math is the easiest with 4 accounts. Let's say you have 4 accounts with Apex, right? It could even be the 50K accounts. It doesn't even have to be the 300K accounts. Let's just say you have 4 50K accounts. Now, you have a trade copier. I'm trading only 2 contracts, very safe in my opinion. Even for a 50K account, that's not a bad size to trade. But even if you trade with 1 contract with the 50K account, right, you can trade, you'd be up $100 right now. And so, regardless, let's just say you have 4 accounts, regardless of the size, and you're making $200 a day on average on 1 account. If you have a trade copier, you copy those trades across the 4 accounts on a yearly time frame. If you can make $200 on average a day, that means you will make $200,000 by the end of the year. And what I mean by that is, or how do I come to that calculation? Well, it's because there's about 250 trading days in a year. And if you multiply that by 4, because you have 4 accounts, then you multiply that by the average amount you make per day, that means you just get the average per day and multiply that by 1,000, and that's how much you make per year. So right now, if I just ended today with these 2 trades, and I just went on my merry way, that means if I just continue to do this every single day, I will make $200,000 by the end of the year. That's simple. That's simple. So even though it's only $200, for me, it doesn't matter, because if you're copying your accounts across multiple accounts, that's actually a lot of money. And so, I mean, of course, you can multiply the gains by having more accounts. If you had 10 accounts, let's say, or if you had 20 accounts, which is the max, if you had like even 10 accounts, your multiplier would be, what would your multiplier be? Yeah, your multiplier, oh man. Your multiplier would be 2,500. That's your multiplier. So if you can make $200 a day on average, and you have 10 accounts, you can make 500,000. You can make $500,000 a year, just making $200. Right? You multiply 200 by 2,500. You can make $500,000 a year, just $200 per account, if you have 10 accounts. And you can make $200 a day using one contract. I mean, it'd probably be easier if you swing trade, but you can make $200 a day using trading only one contract. I mean, that's 4 good scalps for 1 point each, 2 good scalps with 2 points each, or 1 trade per day for, 4 points. Paul Bree says $200 per day is not easy, and that is true, because that assumes you're profitable. And so, but I think is a reasonable goal. It's a reasonable goal, very reasonable goal. We're coming to the top of the trading range, and this is the trading range indicator. Voila, it's just no magic here. Using pure price action, marks the trading range for us, showing the choppiness in the price action throughout, giving us the trading range perfectly here, and bottom trading range to the top of trading range. You can see here when we come back down, where do we retest? We retest basically the breakout spot here. That means that traders came and reloaded here, right? They missed this big move, and they said, okay, if we come back down, I'm coming in with a limit order. And when it came here, they came with limit orders and comes back to the top of the trading range. All right, it will stop your runner out though. That's the unfortunate thing in that kind of situation. But typically in choppiness like this, I just scalp it. Chris says, if you have 4 300K accounts with 35 contracts each, then why don't you just trade one account with multiple contracts? And you can, but if you spread out your risk, you'll end up spreading out your risk, because you have a trailing threshold. The reason why you want to trade multiple accounts is because you'll be spreading your risk across your multiple accounts. But it's equivalent, right? If you have a 50K account and you're trading one contract, that's basically equivalent to trading, if you have a 350K account, that's 7 times larger. And so that's trading about 7 contracts per trade on 350. That's the same risk exposure you have. One contract per the 50K. Your risk exposure will be 7 contracts in the 300K. But it's a little skewed because the ratio between the account size and the trailing threshold is not equal, right? I think it's better actually on the lower counts. Your trailing threshold is worse as you get higher up terms per capital, right? Per dollar. And so I know that might sound confusing. You might be wondering, what am I talking about? I'm talking like an alien right now. Well, if you just do the math in terms of dividing, right, the trailing threshold and the account amount, you see the best ratio actually is probably with the 50K account. Turtle says, I can see how spreading out the risk would help, but if you use a trade copier, your risk is also the same. Yeah, so that's the idea. Your risk is also the same. That is true. There's no denying that. PE says, is a trailing drawdown in Apex the same as a max drawdown in NinjaTrader? No, it is not. I will highly recommend to watch their videos and learn how to you need to learn how the trailing threshold works 100%. If you do not know how that works, do not open an Apex account, in my opinion. You need to know how it works. The way it works is that there's a trailing threshold. That's an outside bar reversal trap trade on top of the trading range, coming off the 20 MA. Scalps you out, but it's an outside bar reversal, so not interested in that. But this could be a breakout here. We may be filling the gap here with this breakout. If we break this high here, we have a very high chance to filling that gap. And the reason why is because the gap's about 20 points away now. Now about 30 points away. And we have a strong bull bar ending on its high on the 10,000 tick chart above the 20 MA, right? Break a trend, looking for that new high. This could be an attempt to fill that gap, but we'll see. Chris says, doesn't the trailing drawdown stop at 300K plus $100? Yes, if you can have enough buffer, that is it becomes a static drawdown. And so the static drawdown, you will get a static drawdown if you can make enough money on your account. And so in that case, if you can make that buffer, then your buffer is basically whatever, your drawdown is basically whatever amount you have. Tempting to make that new high. I could be trying to fill that gap now. Right, bounce off the 240 SMA. This is why I have the 240 SMA on my charts. Right, perfect bounce off the 240 SMA. We could be trying to fill this gap. It's not too far away. It's about a stone's throw away. It's not inconceivable to fill this gap at this point, especially with the current price action we're getting. Still haven't made a new high yet. Very close though. Chris Shuttle asks, what copier do you use? I use the Apex trade copier. Moon says, I'm your super fan from Morocco. Let's go, baby. Welcome from Morocco. Very high chance we break out here. I don't know if this trading range will last any longer, right? And the reason being is because when you see this price action, are you thinking this is going to break down, right? When you see this current price action compared to this price action, right? The difference is night and day. When you see this price action, you see a lot of overlapping bars. You see no gaps really, right? And no gaps here as you go down to the bottom of the trading range. We're basically grinding and chopping all the way down here. And so you're not really thinking, we're gonna have a breakdown here because of the way we reached the bottom of this trading range. Now, when we see this compared to this, right, where we have multiple bull bars in a row, right, two leggy here, right, which we scalped out right there. We have gaps here. This is a negative gap, but some may consider it a gap still, right? It just goes by one tick, right? Or two ticks, fill that gap. Lo and behold, a gap here, right? We have multiple gaps here now as we're making our way up, right? A gap here, right? You can either use this or this gap here, right? Multiple gaps on our way up, showing a strength of the bull, right? The bulls, right? Buying pressure. And so there's a difference between this and this. And so that's why when we came up here, I'm not thinking we're gonna come back down to the trading range. I'm not looking for a short trade. I'm actually looking for a way to get long here. And yeah, I actually may even get long here if we hit this 3 right on the first entry. But I hope that makes a difference. I hope that makes sense to you guys, right? The difference between this downtrend and this uptrend within the trading range. I'm actually so tempted to go long right here, and it scalps out immediately. But it's far away from the 20 MA, not really close to key area. That'll be purely just a momentum play on this uptrend, right? Actually on the failed second entry short. A, B, C, right? Second entry short makes a point, but doesn't really reverse the trade or reverse the trend, and instead continues the original trend. But I will say, you know, trading like 2 contracts on a $300,000 account, it really just feels like, you know, really good risk management. Just trading 2 contracts. You know, even if I lost a couple of those trades, I'd be maybe down like $200, $400, down $600. Like, you can make that up pretty easily, in my opinion. It gives you more buffer, right? It gives you more room to make mistakes, let's say. Big push up here, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points. And guess what? We're making more gaps, right? Another gap here, right? All these blue boxes will represent gaps for us. I would even say a gap here, but that's a negative gap, what Al Brooks would call a negative gap. Right? Multiple gaps on the way up on this uptrend, showing a strength of this uptrend. And that's one of those $1 million questions that you should be asking, right? How do I know trend is strong? Right? You have all these gaps. Look at these gaps. We do have an L4 setup here. We could have a small pullback, maybe at least to the 20 MA. Let's not be lazy here. Let's draw trend lines. This trend line doesn't really work. Does this trend line work? First break of trend, 4 pushes up. Let's keep this one here to see if this actually reverses here on this L4 setup. I highly doubt it. I really feel like it's gonna keep going up higher, right? And mainly because we are so close to filling that gap. You're thinking that this gap's gonna get filled. It's gonna act as a magnet for us. Now, what will happen once we fill it, I am unsure, but who knows? So if you guys are interested in Apex, make sure you guys use that coupon at the bottom of your screen. I didn't enter many trades, but the trades I took, I really liked. I liked that trade. Also liked, I wanted a trade here, but couldn't get it. I liked this trade, but it was above the 20 MA. All right, let's see this L4. I'm curious what happens with this L4 here. I mean, we're clearly above the 20 EMA, which makes me feel like we're gonna just keep going up, but this L4 does scalp out. I learned my lesson not to take naked L4s. My only setup right now would be something like this, and that's a reversal setup. Absolutely incredible that does happen. I highly doubt it will. So I'm curious. I'm trying to figure out, are we gonna use this as a trend line, or are we gonna use this as our trend line? Which one will be our trend line? Which one will be our channel? Keep this one for now. L4 seems like it's failing to reverse the market, right? We get the spike down, spike back up. Make a new high. So I will probably say this L4 is not really working out. The question is, how do I make this trend line? Difficult. Maybe something like this, and it could be like a 2-tier trend line or channel where you're bouncing off the middle, the 50% mark of this channel up here. I would say a nice pullback will be nice. Like a pullback here will be healthy for this uptrend, and we could probably keep going up higher. The fact that this L4 didn't reverse the market makes me want to go higher now. And I'm looking for a long entry, either off the 20 EMA or off my trend line here. Either way, I'm actually interested in going long. This trap trade, right, it's getting congested, so I cannot take this trap trade. Even though it is going with trend, it's a little too far away from my key areas. And I do want to see if we come back down here. If we start to break above here and I just basically don't have any entry, then I'm probably going to end the stream. But I want to have a chance here to come back to the 20 EMA or at least our trend line. And I'm going to try to make a play off of it if we can. But if we just like trigger this trap and it just keeps going up, then I'm probably just going to end the stream. Right? Because it might be a long time till we get a setup. Junfan Hassan asks how to recognize gaps. Al Brooks would define a gap as when you have a strong bull, right, move or bear move, but in this case a bull move. You find the high of the candle before the bull move of the signal bar, right? This is the signal bar, bull move, and then you look for the pivot. And if this pivot, right, depending how far it goes, right, if it doesn't go to, you know, the high of the signal bar, then there's a gap. So you can see this pivot doesn't come back here, right? There's a gap there. Here there's a negative gap. It does come and fill it, but bounces off of it essentially. Here, signal bar. This is the signal bar, breaks above, pivot, right here. Again, signal bar, breaks above, pivot, right here. All right, so we're coming down now. Give me my two-leggy. Give me a two-leggy here, and I'll take it. Give me a two-leggy here. I'll take that. Come to Papa. Big bear bar. Come to Papa. Give me a higher low second entry, and I'll love that trade. I'll take that trade. A higher low second entry would be beautiful off my trend line or off the 20 EMA. I'll take that. Even if I lose it, I wouldn't even be mad because I love the setup right now. Give me some sort of setup like this. Give me a two-leggy. Give me my two-leggy. Come to Papa. Come to Papa. Don't tease me. Don't tease me. I'm waiting for a setup here. Come to Papa. Micro double bottom. Micro double bottom. Aggressive traders will use that micro bottom as okay. Okay. Give me my two-leggy here. 1, 2, 3. Terrible signal bar. Terrible signal bar. I need a better signal bar than that. Hope this forms into a better signal bar. Slightly better. Pretty bad signal bar. Slightly better. I think it's good enough for me because I like this uptrend, how strong it is. Let's see if we can get a two-leggy here. 20 EMA is flattening out a little bit here, right? We had a strong kind of move down here. Micro double bottom. If we come back down here, if we break too far below, no, not sure if I'm interested in this long trade anymore. Unfortunately. Unfortunately, I'm not sure if I'm interested in this long trade anymore. It is off the 20 MA. Broke a little too far down for me. Don't like that. I actually don't like that. If we get a decent signal bar, I may be interested. Give me a decent signal bar and I'll take it. Give me a... it's a doji bar. I missed that trade, Pandas, and I just saw a doji, and I didn't like how we broke below so far, and I thought that maybe we're gonna come back down to the bottom of this trading range, and I just didn't like that. I did not like that. I didn't like the fact that we broke so far below our trend line as well. I liked it if it was like a higher low type second entry, and I'm actually gonna wait here and see if we get a higher low second entry here, and I would be interested, but looks like we lost it. Oh no. It wasn't. It's not the setup that I was looking for, Pandas. Like I would have wanted something here. I didn't like how it broke below here this far down and came back up. We could have another push down here. I did not like that. So skipping that trade. All good, Pandas. And I will see you guys bright and early tomorrow. Like I said, doji bar appeared right there. There wasn't enough room to this high here, and I just did not like how we kind of started breaking below here, and thinking that perhaps we may come back to the bottom of this trading range, right, with this jumbo of candles here. And I didn't like it. I just didn't like it, and I would rather have the higher low set up here at that point. But that is a two-legged pullback, A, B, C, and if you wanted to participate in this uptrend, that was it. But I didn't like it. I did not like it. It is off the 20 MA, but those last few moments I did not like it, and yeah, it is what it is. So Pandas, I'll see you guys bright and early. Pre-market show at 9 o'clock for those who are Pandas and Super Pandas, and for those who are in the mainstream, I'll see you guys at 9:15 tomorrow morning. So trade safe, everybody. As always, happy trading and God bless. Bye.